In this video, we're looking at the locations of all God Shrine totem pieces in Dawnshore so that we can build the Totem of Rightful Rulership and gain all of its abilities to make playing Avowed easier and even more fun. So with that said, we're going to go throughout Dawnshore and find the locations of all of these God Totem fragments. Alright, the first one we're going to talk about is the God Shrine Totem base. Even if you find all of the other fragments first, you can't put them all together until you get the base. So the scales of the Oathbinder base is the first one we're going to look for. This way, each additional fragment that we find can have their abilities activated immediately. So this totem base can be found at the Shrine to Woedica, which you can find in the northeast of Dawnshore. And it'll be over here, just east of the Rise label. Once you get in this location, all you have to do is come toward the middle of this structure, and you should be able to find the scales of the Oathbinder totem base right here. Once you have the base, I recommend going back to your party camp and placing it on the altar immediately so that each time we collect another fragment, we'll be able to come back here and activate its ability immediately. Next up, we have the Golden Plaque of Promises. This totem fragment has an ability where reviving a companion grants rapid health and essence regeneration. You can find this totem fragment near the top of the lighthouse, just west of Clabber's Landing. Pretty much when you first get to Dawnshore, if you were to just look to the left, you can see the lighthouse that you need to scale in order to find this totem fragment, as well as another piece of unique gear. Now you won't find the Golden Plaque of Promises all the way at the top, however on your way up the lighthouse, there will be a small crack in the wall where you can actually step inside of the opening, and sitting right here on this barrel, you'll see the Golden Plaque of Promises totem fragment. Now once you collect this, I recommend going back to your party camp and placing this fragment on the totem base. This way its ability will now be active. And remember, these are passive abilities, so you don't have to do anything manually to have them activate. Now I'm not going to show myself coming back to the party camp each time I collect a fragment, but just keep in mind that it's best to come back to the party camp each time you collect one, so you can put it on the base and activate it, allowing you to get that ability immediately. However, I will come back to the party camp once I've collected all 6 of them, so you can see what happens when the entire totem is complete. Alright, next we have the Golden Plaque of Oaths, and this fragment will give you +2 intellect and +2 resolve. You can find this totem fragment in the area called Southern Embrace, which you'll find just east of Paradise, and more specifically, it'll be in this area called the Usher's Hand. After clearing out some of the enemies in the area, you'll see this crevice in the ground where you can see there's water at the bottom. If you jump into the water and swim through in this direction, you'll be able to resurface in another area where you'll see the Golden Plaque of Oaths sitting right over here. However, there is another way to get to this fragment, so if we go back up top, you can look right over here and see this gate, where if you have a frost weapon, a frost throwable, or can use a frost ability, you can break through the gate from above and drop down to collect a fragment. Either way you get to it, collect that fragment, and head back to the party camp to activate it. Next up, we have Golden Flames. This totem fragment's ability is that second wind casts Ring of Fire, and this just means that if you go down, as in you become incapacitated, the Ring of Fire ability will be activated with your second wind, or essentially your second life. You can find the Golden Flames totem fragment on the eastern side of the island of Castle's Folly. If you're starting in this location, you're going to want to jump across to this rock over here, where you'll eventually find the totem fragment sitting right over here. Next, we have the Golden Scale of Order. Its bonus is that activating a companion ability increases your damage for 5 seconds. You can find this totem fragment at the very top of the Parkrun cache, once clearing out all the enemies, and passing by another chest on your way up that contains a unique clothing item. Once you deal with the enemies right here in this area, we're going to head left around this building, and then you should see a breakable wall that you can use an explosive to get into, and actually in this room is where you can find that unique clothing item that I was talking about. And then once you're done here, we're going to continue upward, cross through this room, and then jump across these rocks up to this location here, where you're going to find the Golden Scale of Order. Alright, and the last 2 God Shrine totem fragments that we're going to talk about were not like the previous ones. With those, we were able to collect them at any time, because there were no requirements of doing any quests. However, with these next 2, the only way that you can collect them is after having completed the first main quest, Message from Afar. And that's because in order to find these, we have to get inside of the City of Paradise, which you're not able to do until after completing that first quest. The first one is called the Golden Scale of Justice. The bonus for this fragment is that critical hits will deal high fire accumulation. You can find this totem piece in the northern part of Southern Paradise, just east of the Paradise Hightown Gateway. Now if you come at it from this location, and go to open this door, you're going to notice that it's barred. But we're going to use the rooftop over here, head this direction, jump across again, and then get up on these wooden walkways that we can then use to jump over to the next area, where we can gain access to this building from above. Once you come inside, you're going to notice this opening over here where there's a ladder to go down, and there will be a web in your way, so you can use Kai's Firestarter ability or a Magrin's Fury Grenade to open that up so you can go down. Now once you get down here, there are going to be a bunch of enemy phantoms that are going to ambush you, so make sure you're ready for that, but once you clear them all out, you can collect the Golden Scale of Justice God Shrine totem fragment. Alright, and the last of the totem fragments is called the Broken Crown Jewel. This one's ability reduces companion ability cooldowns by 15%. This totem fragment can be found inside of Sansa's Emporium, which is in Northern Paradise or Paradise Hightown. Once you enter his shop, instead of going and talking to him on the right, head right over to this door over here, open it up, and while he may make some comments about you searching in the back, you will actually find some good stuff back here, mainly being the Broken Crown Jewel totem fragment that you can find right here on this desk. Alright, and like I promised before, now that we have all of the totem fragments, we're going to go back to our party camp and put them all together. Once you put all of them on the altar, a cutscene is going to commence. You can then choose how you want to go about the cutscene, but it's really not going to change anything, and it's more about learning and getting information. But alright guys, those are the locations of all god totem pieces in Dawnshore, so that we can put together the Totem of Rightful Rulership. Like I said, I think it's really important to get all these pieces as soon as possible, because no matter what region you're in, the abilities that these god shrines provide are definitely going to come in handy. But alright guys, that's everything for this video. So if you found this helpful, please drop a like, subscribe, because it goes a long way to help me build this channel, and more importantly, because I really appreciate it. But anyway, that's all we got. So as always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.